our mat. We are going to start in child's pose. So if you want to go ahead and get into child's pose right away, if child's pose is not comfortable for your knees, please know that you can also start in easy seated and create that same feeling of child's pose, or I know one of our classmates does it on her back all the time. So choose one of those. Child's pose, we're going to put our big toes to touch, knees as wide as the mat or even wider if that's comfortable for you. Let those hips sink back. Remember, if you want, you can stick a blanket or a towel in those knee pits, as we call them. And then let those arms come out long in front of you as your forehead comes close to the mat. And then really start at that point, really start settling into your breath, okay? Maybe you just rush to get to your mat, and if so, maybe you want to move into some of that one-to-one breathing where you take a deep inhale and you count. And when you get to the top of the inhale, you pause for a moment and you exhale for that exact count. Maybe you're already just into your own breath pattern and you can stick with that. And while you just settle into your breath, settle into this time that we get to spend together, even virtually, it's just so cool to be able to be connected. I am going to share our quote for the week. If you remember last week, of course, I was on my hummingbird excitement because I just couldn't wait to get a hummingbird. So I shared Emily Dickinson's quote about hope being a thing with feathers. We were talking about hope and how hope, sometimes in life, hope isn't a strategy, but right now hope is a strategy, right? And this fits right along with it. A friend of mine posted this the other day from a poet, Rabindranath Tagore. Faith is the bird that feels the light and sings when the dawn is still dark. So it's kind of tied in with our hope and our concept from last week about right now with all the uncertainty. Hope is a great strategy. And the visual of, I think right now for all of us, we wake up probably earlier in the morning than we're used to because we hear those early birds, literally early birds, that are out before the sun has come up. And so that this quote just spoke to me about faith is the bird, faith, hope, whichever, is the bird that feels the light and sings when the dawn is still dark. So just like the bird, we still sing even though some days we feel full of light and some days we feel some of that darkness. So I'm glad we're able to practice together and share our light together. All right, now we're going to start some movement in that child's pose. So if you would like, go ahead, lift your head up a little bit and just walk your hands to the right side of your mat. And then when you get there, go ahead and place that left hand on top of that right hand. And then let your upper body sink down to wherever it's comfortable, just for that nice lateral stretch, opening up that side body. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. Really send that air to that side body. And now we slowly just lift up a little bit as we walk through center, walk our hands to the left side. And then before we go down, we just place that right hand on top and kind of push into that a little bit to just open up, help open up that side body. Stay here for about 3 breaths. And then slowly let's come back through center. Now a couple choices. One is either staying here or we're going to add a little child's pose twist. Think in your mind, think of thread the needle, except we're in our traditional child's pose position. But we're going to take that left arm and thread it underneath, like we would in thread the needle, letting that left ear come down to the mat. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a twist. That right hand can stay up at the top of the mat, or if you prefer, you can slide it over to rest on top of the left hand. And you can, if you want to push into that, you can. You don't need to. Now let's bring that right hand closer to our face. Let that left hand come out. Come back to traditional child's pose, extended child's pose, 1 second. And then again, you have the option of staying here. Everything's always your option, right? Or we'll thread the needle, taking the right hand under this time. Okay, bringing that right ear down towards the mat, the right side of the head. So we've just got really thread the needle, but we're in child's pose legs. All right, awesome, everybody. Take some deep breaths. All right, now let's unthread. I don't know that that's a word, unthread. It's probably not a sewing term. Unthread that needle, bring your hands back to center, and then let's slowly move up into our all fours position. Take a moment. We are going to be on our knees a little bit, so don't hesitate if you want right now to put a blanket or a towel under your knees for a little extra padding. Okay. All right. Now we're in our regular alignment. Our shoulders are over our wrists. Our hips are over our knees, and we're going to do just a few cows by dropping that belly, lifting that gaze as we inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to bring that belly button towards the spine as we round into that Halloween cat. Inhaling, dropping into that cow, lifting that gaze, opening that heart. Exhale into cat, tuck the chin, tuck the tail. We're just going to do one more round because we're going to be coming back to cat and cows a number of times in our sequence today. So let's come on back to that tabletop position. And we're going to do a little bit of what I kind of think of as dancing cat. You can do this seated at a chair or the way we've done this before. We're on an inhale. It's our spinal balance, but where we bring our knee towards our nose, knee towards that elbow. On an inhale, we're going to lengthen. That right arm comes out, that left leg comes out, okay? Our belly button is coming towards our back, right? They're coming together to lift. And you might not still be on your inhale, so that's fine if you've gone to your exhale. So inhale to get that length, and on that exhale, let's bend that knee, round into that cat spine, and bring that knee to the elbow. Inhale and lengthen, gaze forward. Exhale. It's our dancing cat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow. One more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow. Let's set that down and go to the other side. Okay? So let's inhale and lengthen with the opposite arm, opposite leg. On the exhale, knee to elbow, round that spine. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow. And let's set that back down. All right. Moving into kneeling side plank. All right. We're going to kickstand that right leg out. Place that right hand more in the middle of the mat. And we're going to come up into that kneeling side plank. All right. Take a few breaths here. Really find length here. Maybe you need to readjust on your mat. That's fine. All right. And when we're ready, we're going to pull that belly to the spine and come up into either what you might know as vertical T, right? Aaron always calls this vertical T. I always think of it as kneeling warrior, all right? If you are not comfortable on your knees right now, go ahead and sit with your legs straight out in front of you, or legs crossed, because we'll still be able to do all the side opening. All right, so let's flip that front palm and reverse that right hand as in reverse warrior. Really open up that side body. Expand on that stretch from our child's pose stretch. Now we're going to come on through to side angle. So either our hands are going to, that right hand is going to come down to the ground, left hand up, or all the way over, finding that length from your fingertips to your toes. Fantastic. Now pull that belly to the spine, lift, and come back to kneeling warrior. Flip that palm, reverse that warrior. Awesome. Now let's come down into that kind of extended side angle. Bring that arm all the way over if that's comfortable for you. Awesome. Now let's float back down into that cow and cat and do 3 cycles of cow and cat. All right? So do 3 on your own breath cycle. And when you get 3 done, we are going to step into our down dog. So go ahead and move your hands forward just a little, toes on back, and send those hips up and back to down dog. Really push into those fingertips. Go ahead and pedal out your dog if you'd like. For a lot of us, it might be our first of the day, right? Ooh, I hear some cracking. Well, I don't hear your cracking, I hear my cracking. All right. Now let's go ahead and bring our big toes to touch in our down dog, all right? And just come up on all of our toes and lower our heels towards the earth. Inhale on our toes, exhale, lower. Inhale on our toes, exhale, lower. Awesome. Moving to 3-legged dog. Let's go ahead and lift that right leg high. Bend that knee just like we did a minute ago in Dancing Cat. Let's bring that right knee through the center. Just hold. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale through the center. We're just going to stay in the center this time. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale through the center. Inhale, right leg high. And this time we'll step or help it through to find our low lunge. Okay, so take your time, no hurry, right? Find your best spot on your mat, find that low lunge. Go ahead and plant that left hand and let's do a low lunge twist, opening up that right arm, wiggling those fingers to activate them. Fantastic, let's release that down. Now, let's go ahead and walk our hands around so we come into wide leg forward fold. We're just kind of doing a different sequence on things today. Sometimes you have to shake things up a little bit, right? Although there's a lot of that right now. Maybe I didn't need to shake anything up. All right, let's go ahead and plant that right hand. So we're in our wide leg forward fold, all right? Hands are on the ground. Let's plant the right hand and open that left hand up to the sky for wide leg forward fold twist. It's a mouthful. Activate those fingertips. Release that down. Let's inhale the right arm high. If you did the opposite one, no worries, right? Now let's release that down. Let's keep those hands on the floor, and since this is our first wide leg forward fold, it's fine to put a bend in your knees, but let's just let that head hang for a second. Okay, just let it hang. Shake it yes, shake it no. Come back to yes. All right, now from here we're going to walk our hands around to come into a low lunge on the left side. All right, so once you get there, take a moment. Make sure your knee is over your ankle, that back leg is long and activated. If you want to set down your knee, you're always welcome to do that, right? Okay, let's plant that right hand. Let's sweep that left arm up to the sky. for our low lunge twist. Activate those fingers. Breathe. And let's release that down. Now let's go ahead and step back into that down dog on the left side. All right, take another breath here. Make sure to find that, look for that length in your spine. Maybe you put a good sized bend in your knees. Okay, now let's just do a little three-legged dog by inhaling that left leg high, knee towards your nose. All right, we come into that plank position. Inhale that left leg high, knee towards your nose. Inhale that left leg high, knee towards your nose. Inhale that left leg high, and now set it down. All right. All right, from here, let's go ahead, inhale that right leg high, bend that knee, and let's just open that hip. All right, just a nice little hip opener. You can roll that ankle if you wish. Now let's close off that hip, bring it back, set that foot down. Inhale that left leg high, bend that knee, open that hip. Set that, bring that back center and set it down. Now go ahead and walk your feet forward just maybe 6 inches or so, okay? And we're gonna come up on our toes as we come down into that hovering table. All right, so we're kind of in that tabletop position, but we're on our toes and our knees are lifted, our belly's engaged. Hovering table for just 3, 2, 1. Now let those knees float down and let's go into that cow and that cat. So about 3 or 4 cycles of that cow or cat. And then come back to your neutral spine. Moving into kneeling side plank on the left side, all right? So this time your left foot is gonna kickstand out a little bit, right? That left hand comes towards the center of the mat and we open up for that kneeling side plank on the left side. All right, go ahead and adjust if you need to move your position on the mat a little bit. Just in that nice kneeling side plank. From here, we'll move into our vertical T or our kneeling warrior 2 when you're ready. Really pull that belly in, right? So we're lifting with our abs, engaging those abs, lifting. Find those strong warrior arms, right? Okay. Now from here, let's flip that front palm and reverse that warrior, opening up to whatever level. You can go straight up if you want to go over into almost that peaceful warrior, that's fine. Right? Now let's float those fingertips down to the floor as the right hand comes up and over. Now pull that belly in, lift with those abs, come back to that vertical T. Flip that front palm, reverse. And now let's come back into that extended side angle. Those fingertips go to the floor. This long line of energy, right? From our fingertips down to our toes. All right, let's release into that tabletop for a few cat and cows. So go ahead when you are ready on your own breath cycle. Drop that belly, lift that gaze, and arch that back for cats. Drop that belly for cow. Hi, Maui. Some of you may hear our dog right now, which is absolutely fine. It's getting near supper time, so he starts just kind of talking to make sure that we don't forget, right? You just want to make sure we don't forget, yeah. Can you just sit down? Can you sit down? All right, from here, we are going to move into down dog. Oh, that would have worked, but it didn't work with him. All right, so curl those toes under. Find that down dog again. If you want to pedal out, go ahead and pedal out. All right, and from here, let's start walking forward to that forward fold. Now he's staring at me, just kind of giving me the look. All right, find that first forward fold. Go ahead and leave a good size bend in your knees, right? Especially if your hamstrings are all tight. But that bend in your knees really allows you to open up both the hamstrings and the back. Let those hands hang long. Really roll out those wrists from our down dogs or tabletops. Roll them one way, then the other. And when you've rolled, go ahead and just let that head hang long. And on your next inhale, let's walk our hands up to find our half lift, okay? That number 7. Lucky 7. Shoulders are away from the ears, shoulders are back and down. You feel that long line of energy, that tug from your tail going one direction, the crown of your head going the other. So we're really finding that same length we did in down dog. Awesome. Now release into that forward fold. Now inhale into half lift again. This time we're going to add our airplane arms, or as we call them, hummingbird wings, right? Palms to the sky. Exhale, fold. Inhale one more time into our hummingbird arms in that half lift. Exhale, fold. Now this time, put a good size bend in your knees so your fingertips are on the ground, okay, to support you. And we're just going to roll up on those toes. Then release those heels. Lift those toes up. Place those toes down. Come up on the heels. Place those heels down. Come up on the toes. Place those toes down. One more time, heel lifts. Heels float down, toes float up. All right. Now from here, let's just gently roll up, since we've been upside down for so long. Awesome. When you roll up, go ahead and roll those shoulders down and back. Fantastic. Find your leg. All right. And we are going to move into a Warrior One series. All right. So we're going to start with just a little half sun salutation. Bend those knees. Sweep those arms up high. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, cactus arms. Open that heart. Lift that gaze. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend those knees. Circle sweep those arms up to find your tall mountain. Exhale, hands through heart center, Namaste. If you're not right now already, come to the front of your mat. Okay? It's okay. It's okay. Well, you'll get fed in a little bit. Maui's back. All right, at the front of your mat, let's go ahead and step back with our left foot. All right, we're moving into Warrior One. Maui is here doing down dog. All right, we'll move into that Warrior One. Go ahead, front knee is over the ankle, back foot is at a little bit of an angle. Hips are squared. Then let's go ahead and lift those arms up high. Let the shoulders come down and back. It's like we've got a big beach ball in our hand. Zip hands. All right. Now from here, we're gonna alternate between Warrior One and airplane arms. So we're gonna hinge forward, just sweep those arms forward, come up into our airplane or our hummingbird wings. Inhale, Warrior One. Exhale, airplane or hummingbird. Inhale, Warrior One. Exhale, hinge at the hips, bring those hands up. Inhale, Warrior One. Exhale, hands to heart center. From here, we're going to move into pyramid pose. So let's shorten our stance a little bit and face all 10 toes forward. Okay, and we're going to straighten that front leg. We're not going to lock it, but we're going to straighten it. We've got this nice long spine, heart Head is over heart, shoulders over hips. And with that front leg in a straighter position, we are going to hinge at the hips, bend forward, keeping that long, strong, flat back until we need to round. Now coming down into pyramid, you can let your hands come down your legs. You can let your hands come to the floor. Just release into it. It's a deep stretch. Hands can stay on your hips if you prefer. All 10 toes are facing forward. All right, now let's really push into those feet as we walk our hands up, back into pyramid. From pyramid, we're going to move into Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Okay? So, from pyramid, we're going to start lifting that weight off the back foot. Front foot has a little bounce in it. That knee has a little bounce in it because we're getting ready to hinge at the hips. Lift that back leg to whatever level you would like to move into Warrior 3. Hands can stay at your hips. They can stay at heart center. They can go behind you. Whatever you prefer. Just for 3, 2, 1. We're going to bend both knees and meet in chair. So come on into Utkatasana when you're ready, into that powerful chair. Fantastic. Now let's bend those knees, sweep those arms down, around and up. Come into that tall mountain, full stretch. Open up cactus arms. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, find that leg. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend those knees, circle, sweep those arms on up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Namaste. Getting ready for our first hummingbird pose. Okay? So you can stay right at the top of your mat. I'm going to move just to be easier to see. Okay, just like we did in chair, put a little bend in those knees. Let's bring those hands out in front of us, palms, back of our hands to touch. Sweep those arms around. Clasp them behind our back. Roll those shoulders down, back, open that heart. Okay? And with that heart opener, we are going to tip forward. Then we unclasp our hands to get into our hummingbird wings. Okay, so we're tipped forward, not as far as half lift, but we're leaning. Awesome. Yep, just like the hummingbirds at the feeder. And when you are ready, experiment with lifting those heels off of the mat. Pull that belly in, gaze is down towards the floor. Feet are together. Just for 3, 2, 1, and we will meet in chair pose. So sweep those arms down, around and up. Find your chair Utkatasana. Awesome. Long spine, hands are lifted or at heart center. Either one. Just for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's dive down into that forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bend those knees, circle, sweep those arms up, find all that length. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, hands through heart center, Namaste. Let's move into Warrior 1 on the left side. So stand towards the top of your mat. Okay, you don't have to be at the very top, but you know, in the neighborhood. All right, this time we're standing on that left foot and that right foot is going back. Okay, find your Warrior 1 position. That right foot is at an angle. Okay, left foot, toes are facing forward. Go ahead and square your hips. And when you're ready, find your Warrior 1 arms, that big beach ball. And from here, we're going to hinge at the hips, fold forward, coming into our airplane arms. Inhale, Warrior 1. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, Warrior 1. Keep those feet active and engaged with the mat. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, let's go ahead and roll those wrists as we bring our hands to our hips. And we will move into pyramid pose. So go ahead and shorten your stance just a little bit if you'd like. We often have a shorter stance in pyramid, but you might know what level feels best for you. Make sure those hips are squared forward. Front leg is straight but not locked. And when you're ready, we're going to take a nice deep inhale to find that length in our spine. And on the exhale, we're going to hinge at the hips, folding forward. Now, if you feel your hips go out of alignment, just grab them and straighten them back up. Well, if only things were so easy to straighten in real life, right, when they're out of alignment. If you want to walk your hands down to the mat, so your fingers are on the mat, you want to keep your hands on your hips. Again, all options. Now really breathe into that left leg. It's quite a deep stretch. Remember not to lock it. You can have a little bend in that leg. Now when you are ready, we'll slowly walk those hands up, push into the floor, and come on back. Getting ready for warrior three, Virabhadrasana on that side. All right, we're going to start lifting that weight off of that back foot. Okay. And when you're ready, you're going to hinge forward. Now you might decide to keep that back foot on the ground, the big toe on the ground, or you might decide to lift it all the way up. Whichever you do, just engage that back leg. Envision that there's a string on the top of it, and somebody's got a string on the top, and they're just carefully pulling it up for you. Okay? So that left leg is ground down and strong. That right leg is strong. It's being lifted. Arms can go out, heart center. And now let's meet in chair. I maybe got there faster than you. I was either way, I was going to chair. All right, Utkatasana. Let those shoulders come down. Now let's bend those knees, circle, sweep those arms down, around, and up. Come into tall mountain. Exhale into your cactus arms. Open that heart. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend those knees, circle, sweep those arms up to tall mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center as we move into our hummingbird once more. All right? So a little bend in the knees. Bring those hands out in front of you, backs of your hands to touch. Sweep them around behind you. Clasp your hands. Roll your shoulders down and back. Open that heart. When you're ready, hinge at the hips, just forward a little bit. We're like the hummingbirds at the feeder. You all know how excited I was when we got our first one. All right, go ahead when you're ready and release those arms, keeping that heart open and those shoulders down and back. And then experiment with lifting those heels. Get into the mind of a hummingbird. Feet are together, legs are pushing together. If you need to come down off those toes, come down, and you can just go back up. And when you are ready, we're going to float those heels down and meet in our chair, Utkatasana. Awesome. Just for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's bring our hands to heart center, dive down into that forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend those knees, circle sweep those arms up. And this time on an exhale, we're going to do a little spinal twist. Choose either side. And on the exhale, we're going to open our arms and twist to the side. Take a few inhales and exhales. Try to square those hips forward. Keep those legs, hips engaged so they aren't going with us. It's our upper body that's twisting as much as we can. Now when you're ready, and on your next inhale, let's come back to center. And then on the exhale, let's twist to the other side. Again, we're really trying to twist from basically our hips on up, right? It's kind of, if you think about that warm-up seated twist we do a lot, same kind of thing. All right, let's bring those arms back to center. Let's inhale, bend those knees, circle sweep those arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Now this time, let's plant our hands, step back into that down dog again. All right, take a moment to pedal that out. Maybe you want to find stillness here. Maybe you don't want to be up on your toes either way. Push into the knuckles, specifically of your thumb and your first fingers, really nice flat hands. All right, now let's float those knees gently down to the floor to move into a child's pose. Bringing those knees as wide as the mat, big toes to touch. And either extended child's pose with your arms out long in front of you, or traditional child's pose where your arms are behind you. Okay, whichever you prefer. If your shoulders feel like they've been stretched and you don't want them stretched anymore, traditional child's pose is a release on those shoulders. So choose which one feels good to you right now. Take another few breaths, and then from here we are going to get ready to move into pigeon. Okay? So if you would like to move into pigeon from down dog, go ahead and come up on all fours and get into your down dog. If you would like to do pigeon on your back, go ahead right now and swing those legs around and get in position by carefully rolling down to start that figure 4 pigeon on your back. Okay? If you are in pigeon from down dog, all right, find your down dog, and then when you're ready, inhale that right leg high, bend that knee, and then carefully, slowly lift it on through, setting that knee down near those front wrist creases. And then wiggle that back leg out. Find all the length you have in that leg. Okay? Maybe walk your hands more underneath your shoulders for a minute and really open up that chest. Find that back bend. And then choose to stay here. Or if you wish, go ahead and walk your hands forward and come down, either maybe to stacked fists, to flat hands, to a blanket, to a dog, a cat, whatever you have handy. I think, Kathy, it would probably be your dog, I'm guessing, and Mary as well. They're usually practicing with us. It is funny, you know, the funny things that happen out of a situation that isn't a situation we choose to be in, but when we're doing all this practice at home, it is funny how we're in our own space and we're connected, and then people's pets are with them, and it's just, it's good when you can find those slivers of light, right? If you're on your back, you're still either in that traditional figure 4 position, or you've threaded the needle and you're bringing that left thigh towards you, or if you did the opposite one, that's all good too. Now, as I always say, if you're in any pain, pigeon is a deep stretch. We don't ever want any pain. We don't want any pain in any yoga. But it's a deep stretch. But if you want to come out of it at any time, you come out of it and adjust. We'll stay here for just a few more breaths. you are on pigeon on your back, I know on your back you can move through things faster, so you judge when you're ready to come out of that, and then windshield wiper those legs out to the side, let those knees fall to the side. If you are in pigeon, I'm going to head back to down dog. Go ahead and bring your hands under your shoulders and then gently lift that upper body. Find that length. Take a deep breath here. Curl those back toes under, and then lift that right leg up and back, and release it down to find your down dog. All right, we'll pedal for a second, but we know we're going to be a little out of whack here, so let's go ahead and go to the other side. So inhale that left leg high, bend that knee, carefully help it or lift it through towards your front wrist crease, okay? Let that back leg come down. Wiggle that foot so you find all that length. Experiment so you know your hips are squared, okay? Maybe walk your hands back so they're under your shoulders a little bit more. Maybe you want to open that heart, lift that chin. Or some of you are saying, no, I just want to go down right away, and that's fine too. Go ahead if you want, and then walk those hands forward. Bringing your head down to stacked fists, stacked palms, blankets, pets, pillows, whatever you have, children, whatever you have at home that would make a good pillow. And breathe. If you're in pigeon on your back, you're in that figure four and either staying there for a little bit or you're going ahead and threading the needle for that stretch. So make your choices to fit what you need right now. Keep breathing and send that air. As you exhale, exhale that air and send it into your tight spots, right? Instead of sending it out, let's just send that energy towards any tightness. Alright, so get ready to come out of pigeon. If you are face down, you're going to walk your hands so they're underneath your shoulders. Maybe you want to find that upper body stretch again. And when you're ready, go ahead and curl those back toes under. Lift that left leg up, high. Let it float down. And pedal that out for a minute. If you're on your back, you've untwisted eventually, heel-toed those feet to the edges of the mat. Windshield wipered a little bit. Maybe you've brought your knees to your chest. All right, last down dog here. So if you're in down dog, let's go ahead and let our knees fall to the floor carefully. Swing those feet around, and we're going to come to be seated. Come to be seated. I'm not sure that's right, grammatically right. If you were on pigeon on your back, go ahead and meet us up in seated, just for a little boat pose. 'Tis the season, I think. Not sure, but why not, right? Okay, so find your sit bones, rock into those a little bit to make sure you really engage with those sit bones. Roll those shoulders down and back, feet are bent, okay? Knees can be touching if that's comfortable for you. Go ahead and bring your hands underneath so they're on the backs of your thighs. And then when you're ready, you can just slowly kind of tiptoe a little bit, tiptoe towards yourself, if that makes sense. And then maybe you want to lift one foot and then the other, and maybe you just want to go back like this, okay, lifting one foot and the other. Maybe you want to lift both feet at the same time. The only thing we want to do is make sure that we're not curling in on our back. We don't have a cat spine. We have this long spine. Our shoulders are down. We've got all this length. Arms can also go out to our side, unless, again, your buffet is too close to you, then that's a nice little time to dust. Keep those abs engaged. Well, you might be saying, how can I not? All right, let's release that. Cross those feet in front of us, and let's just fold right over into a forward fold, letting our head come down as far as is comfortable. And now let's roll back up for one more boat pose. All right, find those sit bones. Tippy toes are on the mat, feet are bent. Again, hands can be behind, underneath your thighs. And then begin to lift one foot or both feet. Hands can stay there, they can be at heart center, out to the side. Just for 3, 2, 1. Now this time when you fold, remember we always have a natural way we bend our knees. If you bend our feet, if you can remember and place your feet in the opposite direction before your forward fold, that just gives you a little different stretch. It is funny how we always cross our feet in this, in one predominant way. Well, I mean, as funny as things like that get, right? All right, now let's slowly roll up. Go ahead and bring your legs out long in front of you, either straight or with a bend. We're going to do our slow roll down. Get our little, here's our church, here's our steeple. Okay, we've got our calves. If your feet are flat, if your legs are flat, your calves are engaged, touching that mat. Belly is pulled in, spine is long, and we're going to stare at those front 2 fingers, that little steeple, and just gently lower down, pulling those abs in. Other option is always to bend your knees and come down. Either way, go as slowly as you wish. And then when you finally get down, let those arms go overhead. Take a minute to kind of wiggle. Find all the length you can in that body. So stretch those fingertips towards whatever part of your house you're at or outside, those toes to the opposite direction. All right, let's bring those hands back down to our side. Let's come into that bridge position for just a moment. Okay, heels come towards our middle fingers, all right? Hands are pressing into the floor. Take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, we're gonna lift those hips up into that bridge position. Maybe nuzzle those shoulder blades under a little bit, clasp those hands, open that heart. And we're here just for 3, maybe a little bit longer. 2. So you can see why I should have music, because otherwise I'll start singing myself. And 1. And let's slowly release down, 1 vertebrae at a time. Go ahead and bring those knees to the chest. Okay, wrap up into that tight ball. Maybe take a moment rocking side to side. All right, now let's release that left leg long, keeping that right knee towards the chest. And let's just gently roll out that right ankle one direction, then the other. Maybe add a little pointing and a little flexing. All right. Now maybe take that knee and just open it to the side a little bit. We're opening it to a little bit of a hip opener, okay? bring that back to center. Release that down. Let's grab the opposite leg. Bring that knee to the chest, the other leg is long. Roll that out, ankle out. Flex and point. Now go ahead with that, even let that right arm just come down, but that left arm can just go to the side to just open that knee out to the side a little bit, just a little hip opener. A few breaths. Now bring it back to center, bring the other leg up, come into that tight ball, maybe bring your forehead towards your knees, and then let's release everything as long as can be. To move into your Shavasana. As the shirts say, right? I'm only here for the Shavasana. So when you find your Shavasana, maybe you nuzzle those shoulder blades under a little bit and let those palms come open to the sky. Let your feet fall open. If you want to close your eyes, go ahead and do that. Few deep, thankful breaths. Thankful that we're able to practice together. We're able to be together, support each other. Now when you're ready, go ahead and turn over to one side or the other. Maybe bending those knees. Maybe you want to use that arm closest to the ground as a little pillow for a second. And take a few cleansing breaths, a few deep breaths. And then slowly push yourself up into your seated position. All right, whatever's more comfortable for you. Legs crossed, legs out front, whatever you prefer. All right, and now let's go ahead and inhale those arms high. And just slowly on the exhale, release them down to the side. Roll those shoulders. For your time, make sure everything is released out of them, especially on days we use them a lot all the time, right? Especially in yoga. All right, and then one more inhale up. So we bring our fingertips to touch, bring our hands through heart center. Faith is the bird that feels the light and sings when the dawn is still dark. May you always find the light inside of you, even in the darkness. The light in me honors the light in you, the teacher in you, the strength in you. Namaste.